Good evening, Super Metroid fans, and welcome back to the Super Metroid Randomizer tournament for Speedgaming Live Online 2023. We will have here the culmination of the series between mm2nescartridge and Glove, which started on Monday. Currently, MM2 has a 1-0 lead. I'm DJ Webb on commentary, and I will be joined by Asi. How's it going?
Hey, D-Web. It's going pretty good here. Excited to see the rest of the series. As you said, we got to see the first match of it Monday. And both runners were looking pretty evenly matched. So it mainly came down to like a routing decision and how the items fell is what ended up deciding it. So we're hoping for another good race here between Glove and MM2. Playing for their tournament lives in the losers bracket. It's a hard road from here out, even if you do advance.
Yep, lots of matches, lots of tough foes in your way. But if it were easy, it wouldn't be worth anything, right?
Exactly.
We are joined this time by the professional tracker Jestro Zook, so no double duty for me this time. I just get to run my mouth even more than normal.
Yeah. So that said, you did a great job last time. Couldn't even tell you're doing both. Seamless. Uh,
Yeah, about halfway through the match, I realized I wasn't even using my own tracker. I was just using the map that I was punching in, and I was kind of afraid. I was like, how did I do this? Because it's not easy, but I don't know.
yeah. Just adapting to the new tracker. But let's see what we get here. It's an E-tank start. Very common to see. There happen to be many E-tanks in the major minor pool, or in the major item location pool.
Yep. If you include reserve tanks, over half of the major pool is tanks. But if you just include E-tanks, it's 14 out of 34, I believe. So yeah, very, very likely to see that. And yeah, both of our runners with the solid start, down to the morph ball quickly. First try deboost. Glove just a little bit ahead so far, but nothing really worth talking about as far as this maybe 2-ish second lead.
Yeah, hopefully MM2 can recover. So we have missiles already, and the other minor is important. It is power bombs. That's going to open up the left side pathway to the area portal, and we're going to find out where that leads, as well as get the minor check on the way, since we still want to see supers. But that's one key item down in power bombs. It's going to open up a lot of options. Just kind of different stages to the items that you're trying to pick up. Unfortunate for Glove losing that spare power bomb, if they do end up turning around.
Yeah, especially with super is not going to be the worst thing that's ever happened, but it is definitely a power bomb you'd rather have than not have. But especially because we're going back, that's the front of Lower Norfair.
Right. So this just means Glove can't check the old Mother Brain item. And they already have
Theoretically,
supers, so it's not a huge deal.
yeah, theoretically, it's going to look like a time save here, but depending on the ammo situation of the seed, we'll see if that actually comes to fruition. But yeah, as you could see by Love's reaction, she very much would have preferred to still have that power bomb. Hopefully, it doesn't affect her movement too much going forward. And ew, that's maybe the harshest punishment she could have gotten.
Or it could just be doubling down on time save. We'll find out. So
Yeah,
with two
so
power
that's
bomb packs, MM2 can check Gauntlet, and also has the option to not refill the ship. So it would be a time save if we just skip the ship refill. I guess it's just better to have the extra power bomb pack. But we'll see if we get a Gauntlet check here or not. Glove's gonna have to take the chip refill and then likely goes left.
yeah. Just a reserve tank here. some artists do like to end up taking the save anyway. There can be some situations where, depending on what the left portals are, you would still prefer to have something like a safety save here at this top of the map, but obviously you do have to spend some time in order to do that. That, like we said, in MM2's case, isn't, known to be necessary so far.
Right. So checking Gauntlet, the miner is probably the least important part of it at this point. It could be supers, and supers would be really nice to have. The major location is what you would want. You wouldn't want to see an early E-tank. That'd really only help with Upper Norfair. So it'd be the utility majors that you'd be looking for up there. And it can't be a suit. So it's not the most valuable check in the game. But can make it, and it does want to go left anyway.
Yeah, still having power bombs selected when he got off the ship was a pretty good tell before he ended up doing these somewhat tricky wall jumps to get him really quickly. And yeah, this is going to be more of this early divergence that so far, we don't necessarily know that Glove would have made the same decision, but, given the issues with the power bombs, didn't give herself the opportunity. So she's just going to be doing this portal checks and see what we can do from here.
Yeah, so it's an E-tank. Not important until we find Upper Norfair as a desirable play and a boss.
And here is one of those scenarios where you would very much, like having this save here at the ship, because we found a Kraid's lair. We do not necessarily know if this is a boss that we can kill, and you're not gonna have to necessarily spend the time to, go all the way to this save station. There was also the option to save that minor check as well for after, because if you're resetting this, you just spent some time picking up an item that you're not going to keep. So we'll see.
That minor check was for a small missile pack for a Fantoon fight if that comes up.
Yeah, that's a good spot. Maybe MM2 with the 10-10 already will be able to skip that, but you don't want to fight Fantoon on 5-5.
Right.
Just what
and
we
so
get.
Fade Off does have 10 missiles now.
So yeah, this is an interesting start. We have two portals on the left. We're definitely not doing anything with the West Meridia portal, and the other one just gonna give us a quick boss kill. So whenever we find the wreck ship, it will be on. We'll have access to any item that we can get with whatever equipment we have at the time. And yeah, then we're just gonna head to the right.
Yep. So for the time being, MM2 is going to be up a super pack and a power bomb pack and that E-tank from going through Gauntlet and the Old Mother Brain check. And Glove's going to be ahead positionally. And probably not too concerned about the Gauntlet skip. Not having that information.
Yeah.
But either way,
Numbers wise, it's
past
statistically
criteria.
unlikely that MM2 was even able to get that advantage on Glove based on the probability of power bomb showing up. We do see MM2 save. I'm a little bit surprised. I mean, if you want to keep all the ammo you've collected, this makes sense. It's just, like positionally, if this was a reset boss, a little bit worse time wise, but like we said, all it's really gonna cost him is the time to go into the save room, because Fantoon is doable and we'll be down hopefully without any issues. Glove, we already saw do a good job. I think it was a 3-round cleanup. We'll see how it goes on MM2's side.
Yeah. To me, the save makes sense for MM2. That'd be giving up the E-tank and the super pack, and you might need to recollect the Terminator E-tank, but that would depend on what you find on the right side criteria. There's a lot of items that you'd kind of want to have, but Seed's making them go back. 2 portals on the right side of criteria here.
Yeah, and a little bit of a not sure if it was mismanagement, bad luck, some flames or whatever, but definitely gonna look like a 3-round for MM2, assuming he gets some good missiles here, which he did not. So this
Yeah,
could end
M
up a 4-round. We
struggled.
don't know if he has the damage done to clean this up right now without some insane Dopplers.
Stuttered a little too hard on the start of that Doppler.
Well, conserving power bombs here opened up the way without before doing the ship refill. Also, again here, it's nice to have a save. We could end up finding a West Merida portal that we might want to fall down. We could also, if some heated runs come our way and things are unkind, definitely don't want to have to go back to the left and do the crate boss area again.
Yeah. As you open up the bomb blocks, I kind of like farming the crabs on the way down to this check and getting your power bomb back that way. But very minor difference because you do want the save.
Yeah, we saw the crab portal check go to Red Tower. Did not go back immediately for the mode transition and may not. Obviously, the only way currently for runners to check that door is a trick we call CWJ, continuous wall jump. It's not easy. I always forget if it's 2-frame jump into 1-frame jump or 1-frame into 2-frame if you do the out-of-door setup, but something like that.
Yeah, I think indoor is 1 frame into 2 frame. And in the past, Glove has valued this information to take the time to do the CWJ, so I'm not surprised to make this play. By opening the door from a distance, doesn't get that out of room setup, where you just bonk into the door as it opens. So it goes for an in-room setup.
Yeah, was set up for it on that jump with the item fanfare, but doesn't get it this time. She will be trying this again. The other side of Red Tower, where she ended up, did take the Bacharach ship, so another thing we're not necessarily the most invested in doing right now. So more than likely, we're just going to be exploring Red Tower after this, but Glove doesn't want to leave this information behind and, put herself in a position where, this could be really, really isolated. And if it's something like a dead end, or if it's something where you're not necessarily going to find the other side of it very easily, this could be really far away. So
Oh,
this,
so I don't think Glove is backing up far enough for the bigger pixel window. That time she did. But she's been 1 pixel too far forward for most of the early attempts. Like this one.
yeah, doesn't want to lose the time to, double door transition. But the flip side of that is obviously if you're not far enough back, you're not getting enough run speed to jump far enough forward.
Yeah, CWJ, it's an in-logic trick, but it can lose you all kinds of time. Just like any other Super Metroid speedrun.
And
Pretty interesting location.
the payoff is pretty big there with this right side of a business center. Quick peek into East Meridia over there too, and this is MM2 deciding to do these miners now. I think maybe Glove was either not going to do those, which would be a little surprising to me, or plan to be coming back to Red Tower, so would have done these on the way down, which is a little bit, it's a very minor, routing save as far as up and down the room.
There's still a chance Glove goes back to Red Tower, because
Yeah.
that's 4 portals and 2 majors. Whereas staying in Upper Norfair, you lose a lot of time refilling your health. But it does help to have more E-tanks if you are going to stay in Upper Norfair.
Yeah, it looks like MM2's also got this set up for a potential CWJ here first try. That will be a huge time save compared to what
We looked
happened to
stuck in the
Glove.
door here. Glove was just frozen in place. and I don't know what could cause that.
Yeah, I was having some computer issues the other day, which was why game 2 was delayed, but doesn't that wouldn't have anything to do with I don't know exactly what she plays on. It could be original console, could be Super NT, variety of other things, but I don't think she's an emulator player, so hopefully everything's all right with the console.
So let's see, that was at Ice Beam, and we know it's an E-Tank. So, like, does keep a lot of information. Like, the reset's not physically too far away. But does have to redo the CWJ.
Yeah, and she also probably wants that E-Tank in most situations, so definitely doesn't feel good.
Yeah, like, if you're going back to Upper Norfair, then you'd want that E-Tank, and so you're just, it's a noticeable loss to not have it. So it becomes pretty bad if you actually need the item. And yeah, also incredibly tilting to have to redo this.
And she's getting good setups. Just it's tight timing, and some people in chat are saying that if you're doing a vanilla speed run where this is like required, any percent, low percent, the biggest two, um, you've got backups, namely the horizontal bomb jump, and also if your run's not going well, you can just reset it and give yourself 9 minutes to think about it again. Here in Rando, no such fortune. So you're here until you get
Well,
it or you don't.
well, your backup is the power bomb bounce off of a different kind of CWJ, but I don't think anyone's gonna be going for that.
Yeah. So she does end up deciding to just come back to Red Tower, save those up and over portals, or not portals, items for another day, and maybe that other day is never. We saw on M2 side high jump as a spazer, so um a beam that's the most helpful if you have it earlier, just because um late game you might already have plasma, and especially if you are not necessarily searching for beams as far as your mother brain kill. It's just kind of an item that can be there. But early on, wider beam, more damage, kill some enemies faster. Not gonna complain about Spazer if you're most people in the community.
Right. Just having any beam at all is gonna help you run through random enemies, like these cack attacks. Going through Hellway, everything dies in one hit now. So it's really nice to have. You're not really expecting charge at this early stage. So it's just useful as a basic enemy killing tool.
And here's where things could potentially get, the snowball effect could occur for Glove because already down the E-Tank that we saw on MM2 side at Gauntlet, now also down the Ice Beam E-Tank. Two E-Tank difference, and we just saw single chamber portal, which a little bit of insult to injury from the Seed's perspective. She's also farming because of the lower health for this X-Ray deboost play where we saw him too. Just kind of went in there, and he's got everything to the end, and there he is to the door.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be a lot of small time losses to not having those E-tanks and those other miners. And positionally, they're in the same place. Like, no huge impactful items found since they're both getting gravity suit here at the same time. So it's just
Yeah,
the
and
small differences.
anecdotally, I think this might be the first time I've seen this play pay off this entire tournament. I definitely haven't seen every single race, but both of these runners definitely know that their opponent did this play for certain in this position, so no one thinks they're getting an advantage from this, but seen a lot of times where this play is just kind of like not necessary, but here you're very happy to find a gravity suit here just under 20 minutes in with you haven't looked at Meridia barely at all so far, so not gonna have to do any suitless in the seed.
Yep, very nice to have. Finding gravity first does favor MM2's health advantage a little bit more as well. We still have 3 portals over here to the right, and that's gonna kind of decide where they actually go next and how important it is to have gravity specifically.
Yeah, and here, both of our runners took Slaughter's refill, and then Spazer was an E-tank. No one wanted to, gamble on getting an E-tank here in case they run into Norfair again here on the right side, but it would have been a play that would have been rewarded. But safe and consistent for both of them, just taking Slaughter's refill.
Yeah, they've run into like 3 of the upper Norfair portals, and that's mainly where you'd want the health refill for. So odds weren't too likely to run into another. Maybe he could have skipped Solar's refill. There's Torian. Torian's a great portal to know.
It's also typically pretty good to find Torian in Red Tower because of it generally being pretty accessible with the number of portals that are in this area. Some seeds that's not as true as it is in others. You can get some wonky stuff where, multiple dead ends in this area and stuff will make it less accessible than it might otherwise be. But here, what do we have in Red Tower? We've got a wreck ship, we've got a Criteria, 2 Norfairs, and an East Meridia. So that's not it's not too bad. And
Yeah, it actually
yeah,
was
here
another upper Norfair.
yeah, like you said, it was unlikely. The dude only have one outstanding now, but unlikely happens sometimes. This is randomizer after all.
Yeah. So here's one of my plays, checking the East Meridia Sandpit for Major. I'm probably gonna leave out the front portal right after. It does get an E-tank. It's not nothing, because it looks like they are going to upper Norfair next.
Yeah, especially given the eating deficit for Glove, this is gonna be helpful. Obviously, she probably would have rather had something like Varia or a movement item, but if you're gonna be hull running, you're never gonna, you know, turn your nose up at an E-tank.
Right. The thing is, Glove just took a decent sized time loss, and so it's kind of looking to make a play to spike an item. It's understandable to come here. Like, if both runners are about equal, and then one just loses a couple minutes to a random crash, then it means one's ahead.
That it does, and MM2 unfortunately just a little short on that D boost. So he's gonna try this rather tricky wall jump to Norfair Reserve. Wants to do this first.
It's not bad.
Well, yeah, pretty quickly. Glove also wants to do these minor checks at Aqueduct. If she was really trying to make a play, which it looks like she's leaving now, she could have well, not really, no. I'm making things up. I was gonna say she could try a CF clip here, but you would not have the ammo to kill Botswoon after that. So, a couple of attempts on the snail clip, and then just gonna be following behind M2, who has found a wave beam here in Norfolk Reserve.
Yep. And is starting to collect super packs as well, up to 25. Very strong number for this early on. Wave Spazer together can kill just about anything. So that feels real comfy.
And Glove, first thing she wants to do in here is take this little detour to the final upper Norfair portal here at the Chronic Boost. It's also possible she just takes it, especially because it's Green Brinstar.
Yeah, I don't know that you want to leave out any other portal. So I can see the idea being you just take this wherever it goes. Yeah, like the one West Meridia is pretty far away.
Yep, so
Uh,
we are going to see some true divergence here as another non-E-Tank out of there in Norfair. So Wave and Space Jump so far, and Glove finds an Ice Beam, which would get our runners through the Botswoon hallway that we just saw a little bit ago. So interesting checks coming up here. Biggest thing here for Glove is no speed booster yet, so we are not currently able to check Waterway. We do have a few more majors here before that's necessarily isolated, but especially if something like MM2, finds speed at Wave and then just comes here immediately, that's going to be, more things that he's, gaining on Glove. But
more free time save for Glove, you mean? When Waterway has nothing?
that too, she's already saving time for not checking items that aren't necessarily, required. But MM2 is definitely going to be fine with his position here so far.
Yeah,
Refills are
M2's found some
going
nice
pretty
things
well.
here.
Keeping his ammo high is also aiding with, you may get a few ammo drops, but otherwise you're really just getting health, which is
Yeah,
what
the
you
ammo
want.
might be the big thing out of this Upper Norfair check play. Oh, and there it is, a speed booster. You called it.
I'm not even gonna
Um,
say I had a feeling. I was literally just saying words, but this is a thing that has happened. It's exactly speed at Wave. There were no E-tanks in Upper Norfair. When does that happen? Well, there was one. It was at Ice. It was literally the only one.
yeah,
Three
I
beams, a
know.
space jump, or no, two beams, space jump, and a speed booster.
Oh, we're going Remembered Highway. This is deceptively far, but this volcano room coming up is not heated. And then with gravity suit, you can just run through the lava. So,
Yeah,
interesting
weird
room.
quirk of the vanilla game that somehow this room is heated if you open it from one door and not heated from the other door. As to why, I'm I'm not sure anyone knows. It's just a truth of the game. But yeah, M2 had plenty of health as well as the ability to crystal flash if things went a little bit haywire. And if this was like exactly the back of Lord Warfare on the other end, his health might have been a bit suspicious. But as we know, just Green Bryn and as well as the potential waterway advantage, he's also just going to move faster through this area compared to what we've seen Glove, especially, that long hallway where the Decor live.
Yeah, today Upper Norfair did have some strong items.
Oh,
Um, oh,
so I just checked the race room. Um, MM2 is forfeit the race.
oh,
There was a fire alarm that went off. Um, Glove hasn't said anything, so I'm not sure if she knows what's going on. Hopefully everything's okay, obviously, for MM2. Definitely don't want a fire, but yeah, that was definitely not what I expected when I looked at the race room.
no, this series, just one thing after another. Okay, so I think we're gonna keep keeping you up on what Glove is doing while that gets sorted out. And here we are in West Meridia,
Yeah,
diving
so
directly
Glove got
down.
a green with an ice beam and a spring ball, which are, good finds. A couple more tanks as well. So when she decides to return to Upper Norfair, she'll be in a better position than she was previously. And yeah,
So
checking out what's going on here in West Meridia.
yeah, so Spring Ball gets you the Mama Turtle item. Otherwise, it'd be a bounce off a power bomb. But with Spring Ball, it's a lot easier. So that's nice. Otherwise, doesn't have much value once you have Gravity Suit. Reserves. Ah. Try and show off the
One
bounce anyway.
try. We'll see if more than likely she just wants this minor. Nice super pickup. But yeah, not an item she feels particularly strongly about to continue trying that pretty difficult bomb trick, especially, like we said, this was had some issues with the CWJ, and then probably a console crash from what people in chat were presuming, so doesn't want to be spending extra time on things.
Yeah, it looked like the kind of crash you get when the sound cue bugs out. Who knows? We bring it a croc. I'm thinking that from Glove's perspective, the item finds just haven't been in good places. Like did skip Upper Norfair, but then just mostly ran into reserve tanks. Spring balls, nothing. Ice beam's pretty nice. And then before that, spent all that time trying to get across the moat, as well as that crash we were talking about.
So Crocomire was smart in the seed, hiding the plasma beam that enables the potential for a one-shot kill. So we were always going to be shooting Crocomire in the mouth quite a few times, but it's a nice find, especially if you find charge and this early with the ammo that has been collected. You would appreciate the charge beam, but
yeah, as
do
far
not
as where
necessarily expect that. Sorry.
Yeah, so for where we want to be to get items from Glove's position would be probably Wreck Ship right now. Ice is going to open up East Meridia, but you don't know who the boss is. And even if you had a Dragon, Plasma and Shack Tool are going to be really slow checks. So Wreck Ship's going to have the good density. Rock, like the grapple beam location, it's pretty slow, but it's also just where we are right now.
Yeah, Glove also probably feels like after the leaving here and checking this the map station portal, it's pretty likely that she's not going to be back in West Meridia ever again, basically. So this is probably influencing her play. Just an E-tank.
Yeah,
And
actually, it's like, what do you do with this West Meridia portal knowledge? The Meridian map room is not checked. The bottom of Green Brinstar is not checked. I guess I'm looking at Wreck Ship, and I'm not sure how you easily get there from now, or from here. But probably one of these unknown portals.
okay. Do you have some updates here in the race room? It took Glove a while. It was just a few minutes ago in real time, not what you're seeing on screen. But she did notice the forfeit, asked if M2 wanted to do a restart. It may be the case that this game ends up a mulligan essentially, and we end up starting over. And the series, it's the series that never ends. And yeah, officially now in real time, so it'll come across in about 10 minutes. Glove is also gonna forfeit from this race. We are gonna completely have a different game two, different seed, different hopefully mindsets, and different luck as far as fire alarms and console crashes are concerned. But yeah, we we're gonna be with you for maybe as long as we could have been for a 3-game series, but I also have confirmation that Love's schedule is not gonna allow for the potential of a game 3 to end tonight. So we're definitely gonna have a different game 2 coming your way. If Glove wins, we will not have game 3 after that. But yeah, it will be quite a while. It looks like M2 still has to get back into his room and do some things. So we'll stay with you, talk about what's going on Glove's side, and then we'll have a little bit of a break.
Yeah, there's still gameplay on the screen, so let's talk about it. Do our analysis stuff. But we think we'll have noticed like recently in real time, so it should be like 10 minutes of thoughtful gameplay. Think about where to
Yeah,
go next.
so it should be in about 4-ish minutes from what but 5-ish minutes from what we're seeing on the screen. And we do end up from wreck ship. This is what you were talking about, wanting to
Yeah.
find some items.
Yeah, I think this is the main area you're looking for. Like Upper Norfair has a lot of majors. Glove also doesn't know about the high jump item, high jump location item. So this is the next densest area.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Glove is basically playing this in a way that didn't get the business center information when she wanted it, and then also skipped out on Bubble Mountain when she was there. So
Farming the guy.
kind of needs this to be the answer, but even with that, like we said, like we know, for example, missing out on a couple of beams and 2 good movement items in space and speed. So even if this was something that was going to work out, it's still not, necessarily the best situation that you could be in. But in every race, you gotta play the hand you're dealt, whatever happens.
So with that super pack, it might make sense to go directly to boss. I was kind of wondering how you're meant to route this. Because the E-Tank location's kind of out of the way. You want more majors before Ridley, in case it is Ridley. And the reserve location you can't pick up, but maybe one of the other majors is going to be speed. So, more E-Tanks.
Glove definitely in a position where Ridley is killable, especially that extra super pack was very helpful. You definitely have to shoot 1 green door on the way down, so probably you enter with 29, but just having to shoot 6 missiles is fine, even in a suitless situation. And also once this miner, this could have also really sped that up with another super pack.
Yep, getting some nice extra miner pickups with the power on here.
Yep. And yeah, as you said, I'm assuming Glove did save before all of these checks.
Let's see, Croc
But I'm
before
not
this.
sure.
So maybe not. I think you're supposed to just feel confident that you can take a Ridley fight. 7 E-Tanks a reserve, gravity suit, and 29 supers.
And there's Ridley. This does look to be around the time that Glove should be finding out about the forfeit on M2 side. And
It's 2.
I was about to say, I was hoping it wasn't because Ridley didn't go well, but yeah, there's 2 missed supers as well as some damage taken, so who knows what actually happens here in this fight. It is 7 E-Tanks and a gravity suit, so, and a reserve, so not the
You can
worst
take a lot of
situation,
hits.
Yeah.
It's Ridley flying away that kind of takes the most health out of you. Because you
But
just
that
can't
does
do
look like
damage.
yeah. It was done successfully. Obviously not the cleanest fight that you would have wanted, but yeah, live to tell the tale.
Yeah, 2 reserves even.
Yeah.
X-ray. Oh, Glove confirming in chat that it was a sound issue at Ice Beam that caused the crash.
We'll see potentially 1 or 2 more items here in Wreck Ship. We did see the other portal here, so you don't necessarily need to do E-Tank. Well, because of the lack of speed, you probably do want E-Tank first, because if that's your answer, you just don't do Attic. But Who do you see the safe first?
It can go either way.
Not a lot of health here, and what the platforms are enemies, so you do get damage reduction there, but the spikes are still gonna do full damage. Is that correct?
Yep. So platforms do 50 and spikes do 60. Or just don't get hit by anything. That's what you're supposed to do.
In some scenarios, yeah, if you're trying to go really, really fast, I think most of the optimal strats do take hits, but now when you're at 86 current health, you don't have the environmental reduction.
Okay, so grapple.
Here's a-
That means we're going to Shack Tool next. Clear play. Yep. It's a little weird where to go after Wreck Ship. So, like East
Yeah,
Meridia is the thing you can do. Upper Norfair is kind of abandoned, and you don't want to go back to it. And bottom of Green Burn Star is just isolated.
yeah, the only portals still outstanding are the it's that bottom of it's the bottom of Green Brinstar and the back of Lower Norfair, so that's where it goes.
Oh yeah, don't even have to check it.
So yeah, if this isn't where you're going, I guess I mean if you're committing to the Upper Norfair skip, you would want to go to East Meridian next, I suppose. And I don't even know if front or back is better for that. I guess back because you end up in Red Tower, and there's an East Meridian in there. Yeah, there's an East Meridian Red Tower. It is
Kind
all
of
the way at
want
the other
some
end,
health
though.
drops. Going towards bowling, you kind of want some health drops because spikes are gonna do 60 still. But maybe we get some grapple strats.
A screw attack, which is a nice item for Lower Norfair, not going to be obtained without the speed booster that we know is at Wave Beam. And Plasma helps mitigate some of the value there, but it is still the better item.
Unfortunately, no super for the minor check. Yeah, either have to farm a super here or have to go through bowling. You need a
Also,
super to
was
get
going to be
down.
farming there regardless because of health. So yeah, this looks like right around the time that Glove did get the
This looks like
confirmation that the restart was going to happen. So we're just going to be rolling here for a little bit. What's going to happen here as far as the stream's concerned, we're going to go ahead and just end this episode. We can mark forfeits for both of our runners. It should stay live because the game 3, quote unquote, was scheduled to start soon. So we are still waiting for MM2's situation to be resolved as far as fire alarm getting back into his room, setting up, mentally resetting and stuff like that. So it'll be a bit of a break here from our end. We'll be sticking around though. We'll get game 2 number 2 Electric Boogaloo, and hopefully everything is fine. But yeah, like we said at the beginning, these are 2 very good runners. They're also 2 people who are pretty close in the community. As a lot of people in chat said, very much a good thing to do as far as Love said as much in chat, like didn't want to take a win off of something so out of your control as a fire alarm going off on a college campus. Anyone who's had those years of their life behind them or in them, fire alarms, fire drills, those are things that happen, especially when you've got a bunch of 18-year-olds trying to cook who don't know how, and there's smoke in the kitchen. Any number of things can cause those scenarios to happen. So we are going to be back soon-ish and see if we can't get game 2 in you know, it'll be the third try that for a game 2, and each runner's got one mulligan up their sleeve. Glove with the computer issues, then into with the real life issues out of his control, obviously.
Yep. Looks like they're starting to get that set up. So we can just let that match come together. Then come back in a bit once it's started. We can move on to game 2, take 2.